Have you been getting a lot of job application rejections lately? Every time you submit an application, you get a rejection. It's just sad and frustrating you. I want to let you in on something. If you are receiving rejections in less than 2 weeks after submitting a job application, there's a high chance that no human being saw that job application. Hear me out. Your application did not pass through the ATS system. It couldn't break through the AI firewall. And that is why you are receiving rejections. And I want to change that concept for you. I want you to land your dream job. That is why I created this video. This video, you will learn how to prepare a job magnet CV. Whether you're a student looking for internship or you just completed your master's or your undergrad and you're looking for a job, I want you to be able to communicate your skills effectively on paper as a CV or resume and then land that dream job. I want you to break through the AI firewall, pass the ATS system, and straight up you get to the hiring manager and you will get that job if you instill and you apply all the things I give you in this video. So without wasting time, I want to introduce myself. My name is Cynthia. I share information that will help your transition into the UK to be as smooth as possible. I'm a lecturer in 2 different universities in the UK. I have been getting jobs whenever I apply because I applied these simple systems. Even when I applied for my PhD, I applied some of these key things. And if you put these in your CV, even when somebody has not seen you before, when they see it, they will say, come over, I want to employ you. And that is the dream I want for you. So if you're a new subscriber, welcome to the amazing family. And if you have not subscribed, hit on the subscribe button. It's very important that you join this place because I have a library of videos that would be of benefit to you. And if you know someone that will benefit from this video, please share this video with your family or friends. And without wasting time, let's get into this video. In this video, you're going to learn how to prepare a good CV, a fantastic CV for that matter. I'm going to be sharing software that you can use to optimize your CV so that it is very, very good. That is the target. So sometimes it's very difficult for you to determine what are the keywords I should reflect on my CV. I have software links that I'll put in the description box for you. But without wasting time, let's just discuss. What do you think is the difference between CV and a resume? A resume is just 1 page. It's just a summary of your skills, expertise, experiences, and qualifications, while a CV makes it more detailed. It goes down to the history. So that's why a CV can be more than 2 pages if possible. Now, when it comes to these 2 things, every country has something that they prefer. Some countries prefer resumes while some others prefer CVs, and some professions prefer CVs to resume. I noticed that in the IT sector, most of them love resumes, and if you're in America, they love to use the word resume instead of CV. And if you are in academics or research, they prefer a CV because it gives more details on your publications, whether you attend conferences and workshops and other professional body membership. The next thing I want to talk about is what are the components of a CV that will make it stand out. The first thing is that your CV should have a font size of 12. It shouldn't go below 12. And the style should be something that is very clear to see. So I would advise you go for the regular one everybody is used to, which is the Times New Roman. Another thing about your CV is should have good consistency in the spacing, bullet points. Everything should be very consistent and shouldn't have paragraphs. No, don't do that. Don't do that. Another thing about your CV is that I would advise you to make it black and white. Do not make it colored. Maybe some aspects that are colored here with some designs that no, as simple as possible. The simpler it is, the best for you. Sometimes the hiring manager would print all the CVs and they will sit at the board meeting and discuss it. And with those colors, they might print it as black and white. And it might not help you if it's too decorated and off point. It might not help you. So just make it simple. If you see those CVs online that they tell you that you should divide into sections, please try and avoid it. Unless you are in maybe an aspect which is arts and you need to be very creative and show that you are exceptional, maybe you can try it. But for a professional CV, I would advise you that you should keep your CV as simple as possible. Don't divide it into different sections. I mean, when you make 2 columns on your CV, don't do that. Just make it as simple as possible. Since we are done with how your CV should appear, now we have to go into the details of your CV, and that is where the key problem is. Some people actually do all these things, but they don't know how to arrange and organize your CV so that it is appealing and it breaks through that ATS system and it scores a high score there. So that is what we are going to go into. Now, there are different sections in the CV, and I'll list the necessary ones first. The first aspect is your personal information, which is some people call contact information. You should have your name. You should have your email address. Please don't put anything so cute like Cynthia with butterflies at gmail.com or she's your baby at gmail.com or baby princess or something fancy. No, no, no. You need to make it as professional as possible. Put your first name, maybe a dot and your surname, and then at gmail.com, or you can say underscore, first name underscore your surname at gmail.com. You can also put your surname first and then your first name at gmail.com or yahoo.co.uk. Don't put anything too fancy. I know why I'm saying this. I mentor some PhD candidates and they make the same mistakes. They just keep making the same mistake. I have analyzed so many CVs this year and people still make the same mistake. People do not add sensitive characteristics or protected characteristics you have. There is a big deal about data protection. One of the key things about data protection, especially in the UK, is that the 9 protected characteristics can be used as a means to create bias in your application, and you should avoid it. You should not put your age, your gender, your marital status, your religion, your political views, or your sexual orientation, stuff like that. Keep it out of your CV. You can add your address. It's very important you do that, but you must not put your house number. You should just put your street and maybe postcode or your zip code. But when it comes to the country where you are in, there are some bias I've observed about being a Nigerian, which I might think that if you're in Nigeria and trying to apply for a job in the UK or US, I'll say it on camera here, maybe you should just leave that out. Put the state. If it's an Ogun State or Abia State, just leave it like that. If your country is going to create a bias about you, especially because of the bad reputation or some things that have been attached to being a Nigerian, maybe you should keep it out of your CV. I'm just saying. Okay, now we have that out of the way. The next thing you need to do is that you have to put your GitHub link and your LinkedIn link and your ResearchGate link. Let me explain. Your LinkedIn profile link is very important. You understand? Now, another thing is GitHub. Not everybody has a GitHub link, but if you're a software developer or you are in tech, you should have a GitHub. You should have a portfolio. In fact, I encourage research students and people in STEM to have what they call a skills portfolio, where you put all the skills you've acquired and what transferable skills those things can afford you. So I would say you should put it on your LinkedIn. Create a PDF profile. Go to Canva. It's very easy to do. Just go to Canva, create something nice that shows the skills you've acquired doing your undergrad and masters, or maybe while working, and just make it simple and put it on your LinkedIn. Just put it there and pin it there so that the first thing an employer or hiring manager would see is that. That is what they call advertising. Just do that. Now, after your personal contact, the next section is your professional summary. Very important that you write just 3 sentences. Don't write the whole world there. Just simple 3 or 4 sentences that shows your skills, your experiences, your qualification, what makes you the best fit for that particular job. That's just what you have to do. You can say something like, I'm a passionate and hardworking, the job role, with 15 years experience in financial analysis, stuff like that. Talk about the core skills that you have that are in the job advert. This is the time where the ATS system is scanning and looking for, do you have the keywords? Do you have the keywords? That's what the computer does. It just goes through your work and says, if you have those keywords, it starts matching it and wants to know whether you have up to 80% match. And if you hit that target of 80% match, it says, go in, pass through the gates. Now the hiring manager can see it. But if you don't cross that threshold, it sends you an automatic rejection letter, which might arrive in the next 1 week or 2 weeks, or maybe immediately, and says, I'm sorry, you were unsuccessful for this particular job position. Oh my goodness. It's heartbreaking when somebody receives that. It's so painful. I understand that it's painful. That's why I'm creating this video, so that you do what you need to do to get that job. The next section is your technical and soft skills. Things have changed. Those days, it wasn't the usual thing. Those days, it was your education and then work experience. But now, employers just have 3 seconds to look at your CV and know whether you are suitable for the job. Sometimes the computer just has to look at it. And I feel it's best for you to put it up there after your personal summary. And this is where it's time for you to shine. The employer wants to give visa sponsorship to someone who has the skills they are looking for. Remember, that's the main reason why they are trying to employ somebody outside their country. So what do you have to offer? How do you know what you need to provide? How do you know? You look at the job advert. When you go through the job advert, it will list some of the things they need. If they want programming skills or data visualization skills or data analysis skills, or maybe MS Word, proficiency in MS Excel, that is where you should replicate what they have there and put it there. And my sister, my brother, if you don't have the skill they are looking for right there, go to YouTube. I attend the University of YouTube. Go to YouTube, watch 5 different people explain that same thing, how to do it, practice it in your house, and then add that particular skill there. This is the 20th century. Our grandparents did not have access to what we have right now. They did not have access to it. And so you can learn on YouTube. You can learn with free courses on LinkedIn, Udemy, Coursera. I know sometimes they tell you to pay for some of these courses, but sometimes it's not so expensive. You can enroll for a course and just get it done. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and you're done. And you can add it as one of the technical skills or you have acquired, because you have acquired it. Nothing has to be as formal as a university where you are sitting down and there are lecturers teaching you. Knowledge is everywhere, and there is no excuse why you should not acquire any of these skills. Watch it on YouTube, practice with it. If it's a big equipment and maybe you can't practically use it, you can say knowledge of HPLC. The next thing you need to do is you go into your experience, work history or employment history, or you can say go into your education. Now, depending on what stage you are in your career journey, you need to choose the right one to come first. I would say that if you are just a fresh graduate and you just need an internship and you don't have so much work experience, I would say you should go for education first before your work experience. And if you have more than maybe like 10 years of work experience in that particular sector, just write work experience or employment history first before your education. But let's just talk about how you should arrange this part, because I think that's the main reason why many people get rejections. This is your time to make sure the keywords are inserted. This is the time for you to put so many words that would pass through the ATS system. And that is why I say I'm going to provide you with a software where you upload your own CV that you have designed, and you upload the job advert that you have gotten from the internet. It determines whether there's a percentage match with the keywords. It's called Resume Keyword Scanner. It does it and tells you, oh, you need to increase the keywords and some of the keywords that are missing that you need to include in your CV or cover letter to meet that threshold or that mark that the employer or hiring manager has set. What you have to do is you put your job role. Maybe you are an accountant at the place you are currently working in. Then you put your duration, that's the time you have been working there, maybe at so year to date or current. Then you put the bullet point of the tasks, the responsibilities, the duties you have been involved with. And please, you mustn't write everything. Most of us do up to 300 tasks in our job roles. There are a lot of things we do, but we can't put all those things that you do there. What you should insert there are the things that the job advert requires of you to have to fit into that role. So you will go through the JD, they call it the JD, the job description of that particular advert, and then make sure each line there is kind of reflected in your current job role. What do I mean? If it says they are looking for someone that has experience in eliciting requirements for stakeholders, make sure you paraphrase it and it's also reflected in your current job role. And if you don't understand some of the sentences there, what you have to do is Google it, find out what it means. You will notice that, oh, what does it mean by eliciting requirement from stakeholders? It's no big deal. It's calling a meeting and asking them what they want and writing down what they need. And you do it. Now, when you've written that aspect, make sure it is in bullet points, so that it's very good for someone to read, and make sure it starts with your current job role. Try to bridge gaps. If there is a huge gap between the time you're employed and another time that you're not employed, you can give an explanation for that. 1 or 2 sentences is enough. Or put only job responsibilities that are related to that particular task. So for example, if you're looking for a software development job and you're a carer, you might not need to insert your care job role in your work history, unless during that care job you were involved with AI to help with learning disability, to improve communication, things like that that are related to software development or tech. Maybe you can now consider writing those aspects there, but please don't put it there. Another important aspect is how you write your job responsibilities. There is a particular technique that would work for you and will set you apart from other candidates. Google advises that you use the Google XYZ formula, and this formula is accomplished X as measured by Y by doing Z. So you always use an action word before what you accomplished. Action words like measured, calculated, achieved, did, recorded, demonstrated, produced, grew. Things that show that you actively participated in doing that thing and it was not you observed somebody doing it. Those words will increase your chances of being selected. So you don't use I in your CV. The software I'm going to provide you with will tell you that when you upload your CV, it will tell you, oh, don't do this, don't do that. So that's why I say check for it in the description box. This example will show you how you should best put your achievement. I'm going to use my YouTube channel as an example. Instead of saying created a YouTube channel that helped people, I would say created 51 life-changing videos that reach 34,000 people all over the world by using my video editing skills, thumbnail design, and efficient presentation skills. As you can see, it captures what I was able to achieve without sounding like it is no big deal. If it's very difficult for you to write this way, another way you can do it is use the action benefit or action outcome style of writing. You say you created a meeting that led to an improvement in communication among your co-workers, something like that. So you should always reflect an outcome, a result, something tangible. Another example is if you grew the revenue of some SMEs. What you can say is grew the revenue of 30 SMEs by 15%. The next session is your education. You start with your current education. If you are a master's student, you say master's in view. You write the qualification or the degree, the university, and the year you acquired it. You can say in view. You can write your thesis title if it is a research-based or scientific company that you're applying to, or put in your grade. See, if you made a first class, fantastic, put it there. If it's a 2-1, fabulous, put it there. Distinction, amazing, put it there. But if you made a 2-2, you must not put second class lower. No, just say second class, leave the lower, or you don't put anything there. Nobody's going to hold you and say, hey, why didn't you put something there? No, don't put it. So you write your master's, then you write your bachelor's. But another important thing about here is that try your best to write down that this is equivalent to UK standard degree, bachelor's degree or master's degree or PhD degree. For people in the US and Canada, you write that is as evaluated by WES. For example, I have a bachelor's of technology, and somebody might wonder, is it similar to bachelor's of science? So that is my job to explain there that it's similar, because some people don't know that it's similar. Another tricky thing is when it comes to your high school, there's something called ageism. It's a crazy world out there. Your high school year of graduation will age you. Sometimes some employers don't want to employ somebody that they feel is a bit older, might not listen to instructions, will not want to be told what to do. That's this general bias that comes with age. And maybe you might not be as efficient or very tech-wise, stuff like that. And that is where I don't want you to have a problem. I want you to break through the ATS system straight to the hiring manager and be invited for an interview where you can prove yourself. So many people will pass interviews, but they don't have that opportunity to get to that interview. And that is why you have to eliminate anything in your CV that will cause some form of bias towards you. You want to have the opportunity to defend yourself verbally. And that is why I created this video. If you're learning so much from this video, please like, share, subscribe. Hit on the subscribe button. Why are you not subscribing to my channel? Why? I share so much content here. I share valuable content that will help you. Share it with your friends so that as you're getting a brand new job, your friends that you are hanging out with in school are also getting great jobs, amazing job. They're not struggling, and I want you to get a job that you love and you're passionate about. If care is not for you, there's no need to do it. You can get other jobs. There are 2 million job opportunities being advertised in the UK. In fact, NHS has 150,000 job vacancies they have advertised. So please like, share, subscribe. As we continue with this, I said your high school or secondary school, you don't need to add it there. If you want to put it there, it has to be because maybe you want to show evidence that you have WAEC, maybe English proficiency, maybe you don't have IELTS, something like that. Or even if you put it there, don't put the year because it will age you. But if you just finished a few years ago, maybe 5 years ago, you're still fresh from secondary school and just went to uni for 3 years or 4 years, you can put it there. It's fine. Now, that being said, these other aspects of a CV, sometimes you can put it or you might not put it, but I will tell you how important it is. The first one is your professional membership. Many people, especially hiring managers, want someone that is a member of a licensed professional body. It shows that somebody has vetted your skills, and it shows that you are passionate about that area. Join a professional body. It increases your chances of being employed. Another thing you can include is your leadership and training. Very important that you put it. If you are a leader in a particular organization, even if it's an NGO or a voluntary work, you can actually add it there. Another area you can put is languages. You can put hobbies, but I wouldn't advise you to put hobbies because it can weaken your CV. I'm very serious about it. It's not one of the requirements that ATS system would scan your CV for. Only add hobbies if it's going to strengthen your application. Maybe your hobbies involve something that relates to the particular job description, or it shows commitment, dedication, and zeal, resilience, something like that. Then you can put hobbies. Another aspect that many people don't talk about is workshops, seminars, conferences, and training. It might be very good to include that. Just add it. The last one is your references. you mustn't put people's names there and their email and their address. There's a big deal about data protection. You can just say available upon request. I hope all these things have been helpful to you and very clear to you. Don't make your CV too long. Like I said, just 2 pages or 3 pages, depending on the area you are in. If you are into academics or research, some people will accept up to 4 pages because you're including research publications. But 1 page if you're just a fresh graduate, 2 pages if you've worked for 2 organizations and you have something to write that could be linked to the job description. Just put it in there. And I hope you've benefited from this video. I went live recently and I was explaining some of these things in the workshop and my live video got cut off, but I'm happy that I'm able to make this video. Also, if you want to learn step by step how you can use the links I've provided in the description box, I'm talking about the AI software that you can use to optimize your CV. Make sure that your CV is on par with others and it passes through the ATS system, as well as making sure that the CV has all the keywords that are needed in the job description. Click on this link above. See you in my next one. Bye bye.